Guys, it's Reynad back with a Paladin deck tech brought to you by G2A.com. This is a series I want to start doing kind of every week to try some, different decks on ladders, maybe stuff I find on the website that looks kind of cool. So today we're going to start off with Aggro Paladin because I hate people and I like to, play Leper Gnome turn 1, hit people in the face, emote a lot, and just get squelched and make people upset. So this is a list I found on the website. It's called Smorc, posted by Sawar, and this list was a little different. He has Arcane Golems, he's got like 2 Organ, Infiltrator, 1 Equality only, and it made some changes after playing a few games with it that I think just make it a little more consistent. I'm not sure if it's better. Like Arcane Golem definitely might be a card that I really want, but I'm pretty happy with how this has been playing out. So just to go through the deck quick, we've got 5 1-drops that you're happy playing turn 1, which are your Squires, Leper Gnomes, and Worgen Infiltrators. Squire, of course, really good at Blessing of Might. It takes a lot of mana to deal with, which is why I like it. It makes you like abusive and Blessing of targets pretty consistently too. Abusive is just a ton of damage for the amount of mana that you're putting into the card, so that's the reason it's in there. But you don't usually want to play this turn 1, as well as Sousy. Like, you will if you have to, but usually you want to hold those on to charge later, or get the damage off the battle cry. So Blessing, of course, is just a ton of mana, or a ton of damage for 1 mana. You just commit 1 card, a lot like Cold Blood. Probably not quite as good because it's pretty easy to combo, but you don't have to combo, which is the nice thing. You just play it turn 2 on Argent Squire. Just a pretty effective card. And you want to have all these 1 mana things in your deck so that you can empty your hand quickly, have less cards in hand than your opponent, and then draw a bunch off of Divine Favor. So that's it for the 1-drops. I did add a 2nd Equality from the original list. I found that this card was really powerful. It doesn't really affect your own creatures at all. It just kills all their stuff. I was super happy with Equality. And there's a lot of hand lock on ladder right now, which lets you just win against automatically. Then we've got Haunted Creeper, Juggler, and Mini Bot for our 2-drops. Probably 3 of the best 2-drop minions in the game. Haunted Creeper and Knife Juggler are played in Zoo and Hunter and this deck. That's just how efficient they are. They're really good at what they do. Really hard to get rid of, aside from Knife Juggler, but he makes up for it by dealing infinite damage. And all 3 of these cards are good with Equality, of course, too. So that's the reason they're in there. You got Divine Favor, of course, the best card in the deck. Maybe the game against other control decks. Sorry, not other control decks, against just control decks. We're definitely not control. And you empty your hand fast, you play Divine Favor, draw 5 to 7 cards, and just win the game off that. That's why the charge minions are important too. If you end up drawing a million cards, you really want to have ways to burst them on the following turn to end the game. Muster for Battle's in here just because you play it. It's in here for a lot of reasons. The weapon lets you play Sousy Deckhand. If you didn't have Muster, this card wouldn't be good enough to play. It deals a ton of damage. You get the 4 damage off of the Light's Justice, the weapon that you get, and then you're going to get to hit with usually at least 2 of your tokens off of it because they're only going to have 1 minion in play. They won't have the mana to deal with your 1/1s, and if they do, they'll probably be killing your Knife Juggler or Leper Gnome or something instead. So the amount of damage this ends up actually doing to their face is 7 or 8 most of the time, which is absolutely ridiculous because it also makes them spend mana to deal with it, on top of dealing all that damage for only 1 card and 3 mana. And of course, just like everything else in the deck, it's good with Equality. Mukla's in here just because the bananas, make your Divine Favor better. You give them cards, of course, but you're also going to have board control most of the time early game because you play more early dudes than most other decks. So when you play Mukla on an empty board, it's just really tough to get rid of. The only card that really does it well is Big Game Hunter, and they can double banana your Mukla and then Big Game Hunter it, but they need to have 5 mana for that. And if you're playing this turn 2 or 3, then they're just not going to be able to do that play. So just a very strong card. A lot of times you can get 15 damage off of it against Druid or something, and that's just ridiculous. We got Wolf Riders. I think it's just a more consistent 3-drop between this and Arcane Golem, because you can play this one turn 3. Arcane Golem you kind of have to hold on to. If you play it on curve, then you end up losing, whereas Wolf Rider you can just play whenever. So this card's a little more flexible. I like it for that reason. And then we got True Silver Champion, which, just insane Paladin card. If you're going to the face, it's basically 8 damage. Pyroblast for 4 mana. It's pretty ridiculous. It even gains you a bit of life, which helps against things like Hunter when you're racing for damage. And that's pretty much the deck. Let's hit some people in the face, see how it goes. I'm pretty happy with it so far. So hopefully we can get some wins off of it.